The rapid expansion of cities has drastically changed the world. Humans have built sprawling metropolises filled with roads, buildings, and infrastructure. As cities grow, they take up more land, leaving less space for wildlife. In response, many species have had to adapt to these new urban landscapes. But could these animals that thrive in cities be the future of evolution? Urban environments are not just concrete jungles, they are ecosystems in their own right. They offer unique challenges and opportunities for animals. In many cities, food is abundant and shelters are plentiful. However, cities also come with dangers such as traffic, pollution, and human interaction. Animals that succeed in these environments must be resourceful and resilient. These are qualities that could shape the future of evolution. For some animals, urban life presents a chance to thrive. Take the case of raccoons. These creatures have become synonymous with city living. Their dexterous paws help them access trash cans and open containers, and their cleverness allows them to navigate human-dominated environments with ease. Raccoons are an example of how some animals can adapt to urban challenges. Similarly, coyotes are increasingly found in cities. Once confined to rural areas, these apex predators now roam the streets of cities like Chicago and Los Angeles. They have adjusted their behaviors to fit urban settings. They hunt smaller animals like rats and squirrels and find refuge in parks and green spaces. Coyotes are not the only animals adjusting to urban life. Birds like pigeons, crows, and sparrows have also adapted to living in cities. They've learned to find food in human waste, nest in tall buildings, and avoid the dangers of traffic. The same goes for squirrels, which are now a common sight in city parks and gardens. These animals have thrived because they have learned to exploit human infrastructure. Urban environments offer a wide range of opportunities for animals that are able to adapt. However, thriving in these environments requires a variety of skills. For instance, animals that live in cities often have to adjust their behavior. They may become more nocturnal to avoid humans, or they may learn to forage for food in less obvious places. These behavioral changes are a form of adaptation that helps animals survive in a human-dominated world. Physiologically, animals that adapt to cities may also undergo changes over time. Studies have shown that animals in urban environments may experience differences in size, color, or reproductive patterns compared to their rural counterparts. For example, some urban birds have been found to be smaller than those living in the wild. This could be due to factors such as limited space or changes in food availability. Over generations, animals that thrive in cities may evolve traits that help them better survive in these environments. Could this represent the future of evolution? The rapid pace of urbanization means that more species will likely face the challenges of adapting to city life. Some species may go extinct because they cannot adjust to the changes in their habitat. Others, however, may thrive. This survival of the fittest may lead to the emergence of urban-adapted species. But this raises a question. Are urban-adapted animals the next step in evolution? Evolution is a slow process, but cities are changing the natural world at an unprecedented rate. The species that are able to adapt to urban life could, over time, become the dominant species in the future. They may become the blueprint for evolution in an increasingly urbanized world. However, the animals that thrive in cities may not be the same as those that thrive in rural or natural environments. Urban life has its own set of pressures that shape animal behavior. Pollution, noise, and a lack of green spaces all contribute to the challenges faced by animals in cities. But some species are better equipped to cope with these pressures than others. This suggests that the future of evolution may be shaped by those species that can handle the unique stresses of urban environments. One potential outcome of this urban evolution is that we may see the rise of a new type of animal. These animals would be adapted to live alongside humans, thriving in cities rather than in the wilderness. Some scientists believe that these urban-adapted animals could represent a new phase of evolution. They might evolve characteristics that make them better suited to city life. For example, they may become more sociable like humans, or develop traits that allow them to coexist with human infrastructure. However, this doesn't mean that rural or wild animals are doomed. Urban-adapted animals are not the only species that will survive. Many animals like deer, foxes, and bears still thrive in natural habitats outside of cities. These species are still evolving, albeit in different ways. But the rise of urban-adapted species suggests that evolution is becoming more complex. It is no longer just about survival in the wild. It is about survival in a world dominated by humans. Some researchers believe that urban evolution could have far-reaching implications. As cities continue to grow, more animals may be forced to adapt to urban life. This could lead to the development of new species that are better suited to city environments. These new species may be more resilient to pollution, noise, and other urban stresses. As they evolve, they could develop traits that allow them to better navigate human infrastructure, such as roads, buildings, and transportation systems. But what does this mean for biodiversity? The rise of urban-adapted animals could come at the expense of other species. As more land is developed for cities, natural habitats are being lost. This could lead to a reduction in biodiversity, as species that cannot adapt to urban life face extinction. However, the adaptation of certain species to urban life could also offer opportunities for conservation. By understanding how animals adapt to cities, scientists can better protect species that are at risk of disappearing. For example, cities could be designed with wildlife in mind, incorporating green spaces, wildlife corridors, and other features that help animals thrive. This could help mitigate the loss of biodiversity while also allowing animals to coexist with human infrastructure. Another consideration is the ethical implications of urban adaptation. As more animals live in cities, they will inevitably come into contact with humans. This raises questions about how we should manage urban wildlife populations. Should we view these animals as part of the urban ecosystem, or should we try to return them to their natural habitats? The growing number of urban-adapted species could change the way we think about conservation. It may not be enough to focus solely on preserving wild habitats. We may also need to focus on creating spaces where urban-adapted species can thrive. In the future, cities may become centers of evolutionary change. The species that adapt best to urban environments could become the new norm. As cities continue to expand, the animals that survive may be those that are best suited to living alongside humans. This could lead to a world where urban-adapted species become the dominant form of life. The future of evolution may no longer be confined to remote wilderness areas. Instead, it may unfold in the heart of our cities. In this new world, the animals that thrive in cities could hold the key to the future of life on Earth. Whether we view them as a sign of evolution or simply a byproduct of urbanization, they will undoubtedly shape the world to come.